All right, ready to dig into some earnings.
Always.
We're looking at T-Mobile today, and their latest report. Well, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's one of those calls with layers, you know?
Definitely record growth was the headline, and that seems a little crazy given, well, everything going on.
Right.
Like, how's that even possible?
Yeah, so let's start there. For the full year 2024, T-Mobile, they had their highest ever postpaid phone additions and their churn rate. Best they've ever seen.
So people aren't just signing up, they're actually sticking around.
Exactly.
That's impressive, but how are they managing this when, I mean, so many companies are having a tough time?
Well, their network quality is a big part of it. They keep getting these awards. Like just last month, they swept all 5 network experience categories from OpenSignal.
Okay, so the tech side, that's covered.
Uh-huh.
But growth, it's not just about having a good product, right?
No, you need more than that.
What else is going on?
Their strategic moves, those are making a difference. Like their 5G broadband keeps adding customers. Over 428,000 last quarter alone.
Wow.
And that's their 12th quarter in a row leading the industry in broadband growth.
So home internet, they're winning there too.
Yeah.
But what about businesses? Are they just going after like individual consumers?
Actually, their business segment had a fantastic quarter. Best ever for phone additions and the lowest churn rate they've seen in that category. They even got this huge contract with New York City for their public safety network, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, to win over a city like New York, that's got to mean something.
Definitely.
So it sounds like things are going really well for them, but financially, I mean, are they actually turning this growth into like real profit?
Absolutely. Their postpaid service revenue was up over 8% in Q4.
Okay.
More than double the rate of their competitors. And their core adjusted EBITDA, that's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, grew 10% for the quarter and 9% for the whole year.
All right. So for those of us who, aren't financial analysts, what does that EBITDA number really tell us?
In simple terms, it gives us a better idea of how profitable they are, cutting through some of the accounting stuff.
Okay.
It means they're not just growing, they're doing it in a way that's financially healthy, which is important for the long run.
So attracting customers, keeping them happy, making money.
The basics.
Business 101, right?
Mhm.
But what about their future plans? Are they just going to ride this wave, or are they looking ahead?
This is what's interesting. They're making some smart investments for the future. Obviously money into their network, but they're also focusing on digital capabilities. And they've made some interesting acquisitions.
Okay, spill the tea.
Right.
What acquisitions are we talking about?
Well, the one that stands out is their purchase of Viscar Media.
Okay.
It's a company focused on changing the digital outdoor advertising market.
Hold on. T-Mobile's getting into advertising. That's not what I expected.
It seems like a left turn, right?
Yeah.
But think about it. They have a massive amount of customer data and insights. Combine that with Vistar's tech, they could really shake up how we experience advertising.
Like how?
Targeted ads on billboards as you walk by.
Oh, wow.
Based on your preferences, your location, that kind of thing.
Okay, that's a little sci-fi movie-ish.
Yeah.
But I can see the potential.
Definitely.
Are they trying to make ads, I don't know, less annoying, more relevant? Because most ads are just, ugh.
That seems to be the goal. Vistar's platform lets advertisers target specific groups, based on location or demographics.
Okay.
And they're figuring out how to measure how effective those outdoor ads are, which hasn't been great in the past.
Makes sense.
It's bringing that data-driven approach from online ads to the physical world.
So instead of seeing random ads for stuff I don't care about, I might actually see something relevant.
Exactly.
I'm into that.
Fit.
But how does this fit into their overall strategy? It still feels kind of like a jump from their core business.
I think the idea is having this advertising arm will create another way for them to make money, potentially a lot of money. And at the same time, they can offer more value to their customers, maybe ad-supported plans, other perks.
Okay.
It's bold, for sure, but it could pay off big time if they can make it work.
All right. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But we can't forget their, bread and butter, the telecom services themselves.
Right.
What's driving all this growth? It's like they found some secret sauce that everyone else is missing.
One key ingredient is their focus on value for customers. We're seeing strong growth in their average revenue per user, or ARPA.
Okay.
Which means customers are choosing those higher tier plans, bundling more services.
The classic upselling. But are people actually happy to pay more, or are they being tricked into it?
From what we can see, it seems to be about genuine value. They're constantly adding new features to their plans, and they're phasing out those old legacy rate plans.
Yeah.
So some customers might see a price increase, yeah, but they're also getting more for their money.
So it's not just squeezing more money out of people, it's giving them more reasons to spend more.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I'm curious about their wholesale strategy. Aren't they worried about, like, cannibalizing their own customers by partnering with other companies?
It's a valid concern, but they're being smart about it. These partnerships are focused on reaching audiences they might not get to with their own brands.
So, like, expanding their reach without stepping on their own toes.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
That.
But what about this whole fiber expansion thing? I mean, they're already dominating wireless. Why go into cables and wires?
They're not just dipping your toes in, they're going all in on fiber.
Yeah.
Using acquisitions, joint ventures to build out their network. Puts them in direct competition with those cable giants.
Yeah.
It's bold, but it makes sense strategically.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture. Fiber gives them another way to grow, right? And they can offer those bundled services, internet, TV, makes them more competitive.
Exactly.
It's like they're building this, like, telecom empire.
Right.
But what about the future of their network? All the hype around AI, 6G. How are they staying ahead?
This is where it gets really interesting. T-Mobile is using AI in a big way,
Okay.
optimizing their network, allocating capital, even personalizing customer experiences. We're talking about things like customer-driven coverage, where the network adapts to user demand.
Wow.
Self-healing capabilities to minimize outages.
Wait, self-healing network?
Yeah.
That sounds like straight out of a movie.
It's pretty cool. It can detect and fix problems automatically. Less outages, better reliability for customers. And then there's the dedicated 5G slices for specific uses.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. This AI stuff is next level, but I have to ask about this. It's probably what everyone's thinking.
Yeah.
The SpaceX partnership,
Oh, yeah.
satellite to cellular service. Is this really the future?
It's definitely a glimpse into what's possible. Imagine using your phone anywhere on the planet, even the most remote places. No more dead zones, no more searching for Wi-Fi. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, tell me more. How does this satellite to cellular thing even work?
Yeah.
And is it going to be, like, affordable? Because I'm imagining my phone bill going through the roof.
The technical details are, complex, but basically they're using SpaceX's Starlink satellites to provide coverage where cell towers can't reach. It's still in beta, but early reports are good. As for cost, they've hinted that it might be included in some of their premium plans.
So if I want to text from, like, the middle of the Amazon rainforest, I might just need to upgrade.
Maybe.
All right, sign me up. Seriously, though, the SpaceX thing is huge.
It is.
Could totally change how we think about connectivity.
It's breaking down barriers, making communication truly global. It's a bold move and definitely something to watch.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here, from record growth to AI-powered networks and even satellite to cellular service.
Yeah.
It's clear T-Mobile isn't slowing down at all. They're innovating, expanding, pushing the boundaries in the telecom world. But let's take a minute to think about what all this means for, the listener.
Right.
Because it's all about how these things impact our daily lives.
Absolutely. If you're a T-Mobile customer, you might be getting even more value in your plan, faster speeds, better coverage, maybe even that satellite connectivity.
Right.
And even if you're not with T-Mobile, you're probably going to benefit from their innovations because it drives competition, pushes the whole industry forward.
Right. A rising tide lifts all boats, or, in this case, all smartphones. But we can't forget about their move into advertising. That could have a big impact on all of us, whether we're on our phones or just walking down the street.
Yeah.
More targeted ads, maybe less annoying ones, even some cool interactive experiences.
It's a new world of advertising.
It is. And T-Mobile's leading the charge.
They are.
All right, listeners, we've covered a lot, and it's clear T-Mobile is a company to keep an eye on in 2025.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap up, we've got a little something special.
Yeah.
Our This Is Not Financial Advice segment,
Oh, here we go.
where we, let our imaginations run wild, explore some crazy but maybe lucrative trade ideas.
Always fun. I'm ready.
All right, here's a spacey one. What if T-Mobile goes all in on this satellite thing
Okay.
and offers a global roaming plan? Like, you can use your phone anywhere on the planet.
Wow.
Imagine you're hiking in the Himalayas, streaming your favorite podcast.
Okay.
Or checking email on Safari in Africa.
No roaming charges.
No crazy roaming charges, no scrambling for Wi-Fi.
That would be
It
amazing.
would change everything for travelers, digital nomads, anyone who wants to stay connected no matter where they are.
But how would they make that work?
Well, let's assume this SpaceX partnership goes well and they can provide that global coverage.
Okay.
They could offer this global roaming plan as like a premium add-on or even a whole new tier of service for those globetrotters. Partner with airlines, hotels, travel companies, offer bundles.
I see where you're going with this.
And the marketing. T-Mobile, the only network you'll ever need anywhere in the world.
Catchy.
People scaling Mount Everest, exploring the ocean, seamlessly using their T-Mobile phone.
Definitely taps into that desire for like freedom, exploration.
Right.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are still a lot of unknowns. The technology is new. There's regulations to figure out.
Sure.
But if they can pull it off, it would be a massive disruption.
Exactly. It's all about potential. And T-Mobile, they've got it in spades. So what do you think? Is this a trade worth considering, or are we getting a little too carried away with our "this is not financial advice" fantasies?
I think it's worth exploring. It's early, but the potential upside, it's huge. If they can make this global roaming thing work, they could grab a big chunk of that travel and international market,
Yeah.
which would be a huge win for them and their investors.
All right, listeners, that's our wild idea.
Remember, folks.
But remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, talk to a financial pro, and as always, invest responsibly. But for now, let's keep dreaming big. What other crazy but potentially brilliant ideas do you have?
Well, we got to think about the competition, right? What if they take this global roaming idea even further in? What if they partnered with like a major airline or a cruise line
Okay.
and offer like an exclusive T-Mobile global package? Imagine a cruise where you've got seamless connectivity included no matter where you are in the world.
Whoa, that's thinking big. It would be a huge selling point for travelers, people who want to stay connected.
Yeah.
No more roaming charges.
Exactly. It's about like creating those unique offers, tapping into those needs that aren't being met. But let's switch gears a bit, talk about T-Mobile's fiber ambitions. It seems like they're going right up against the cable companies, but can they really compete in a market that's already so crowded?
It's a bit of a David and Goliath situation for sure. But T-Mobile, they have a history of like disrupting things.
Right.
Remember, they came into the wireless market as the underdog and totally changed the game.
Yeah.
They can do the same with fiber.
You're right. They're not afraid to shake things up. But what's their like secret weapon in this fiber fight? Is it just about offering lower prices?
Well, price is always a factor, but T-Mobile's also banking on their brand, their reputation for good customer service.
Yeah.
They're hoping people will be drawn to that uncarrier approach, simplicity, transparency, no hidden fees.
Smart strategy, using their existing strengths to stand out in a crowded market. Plus, they can leverage that wireless customer base, bundle services, offer attractive packages.
It's that classic one-stop shop idea, make it easy and convenient, and people will come running. But let's be real, cable companies, they have a pretty strong grip on the market.
Yeah, they do.
They've got the infrastructure, the experience, and tons of money. Can T-Mobile really overcome all that?
It won't be easy, that's for sure. But they're being strategic. They're focusing their fiber expansion on areas where they see the most potential.
So picking their battles.
Exactly.
Makes sense. But how are they actually delivering this fiber service? Are they laying down their own cables, or are they working with existing providers?
A bit of both, actually. They're acquiring smaller fiber providers in some places, partnering with existing ones in others, and even using their 5G fixed wireless to offer a high-speed option where fiber isn't available yet.
So they're being resourceful, using everything they've got to expand their reach. But all this innovation, this expansion, it's got to be expensive. How are they paying for all these ambitious projects?
Their strong financial performance is a big part of it. They're making a lot of cash, and they're putting it back into the business. But they're also being smart with their spending, focusing on those strategic acquisitions and partnerships that give them the best return on their investment.
So they're not just throwing money around.
No, definitely not.
Which is good to hear. But you know what else is good to hear? Their commitment to sustainability.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They announced some impressive goals in their earnings call.
They did.
aiming for net zero greenhouse gas emissions across their entire operation by 2040.
It's a big goal, especially for a company with all those towers and data centers.
Yeah, powering all that takes a lot of energy. Yeah. So how are they planning to do it? Is it all just solar panels and wind turbines?
That's part of it, for sure. They're investing in renewable energy, but they're also focused on being more energy efficient, reducing their carbon footprint in their supply chain,
Okay.
and working with others to promote sustainable practices.
So it's like a whole company effort.
Yeah, a holistic approach, which is good to see. It shows they're taking this seriously, not just talking about it.
Right. But what does this mean for their customers? How does their sustainability commitment actually impact our lives?
Well, for one thing, you can feel good about supporting a company that's trying to reduce its impact on the environment. But it also means you might see some real benefits, like maybe more energy efficient devices, services, that kind of thing.
That makes sense. It's about matching their actions with their customers' values. But speaking of customers, let's not forget about all the people who still don't have reliable, affordable internet. It's a huge problem, and T-Mobile's trying to address it.
You're talking about the digital divide, right?
Yeah.
It's a major barrier holding people back from opportunities.
Exactly. And T-Mobile's launched some initiatives to try and close that gap, especially in underserved communities.
They have.
So give us the details. What are they doing?
One big program is Project 10 Million. The goal is to provide free or low-cost internet and devices to 10 million eligible households over the next 5 years.
Wow.
They're also partnering with schools and libraries to provide internet to students who don't have it at home, and working on expanding that 5G fixed wireless to reach more rural areas.
So they're attacking the problem from different angles.
They are.
It's a reminder that being connected, it's not a luxury, it's essential.
Absolutely, for education, healthcare, jobs, so much.
Right. And T-Mobile's playing a crucial role in making sure everyone can participate in this digital world. But it's not just about access, right? It's also about making sure people know how to use technology effectively.
You're talking about digital literacy.
Yeah.
It's super important.
And T-Mobile's promoting that through different community programs, educational initiatives.
They are. They're working to give people all ages, all backgrounds, the digital skills they need to thrive in today's world.
Because technology, it's always changing.
Constantly.
It's like learning a new language. Got to keep up with the latest vocabulary to communicate. But speaking of communication, let's get back to T-Mobile's core business for a second. We've talked about their growth, their initiatives, but what about the actual service itself? How are they making sure customers have a good experience?
Well, they've got a good reputation for customer service. They consistently rank high in those satisfaction surveys. People say they're responsive, helpful.
So it's not just about the tech, it's about the people too. But how are they using technology to, improve the customer experience?
They've put a lot of work into their online platforms, made it easier to manage your account, pay bills, access support, all online. They even have a chatbot now, can answer common questions, even troubleshoot some technical stuff.
So they're trying to make it seamless, whether you're online or talking to a real person.
Exactly.
Which brings us back to our This Is Not Financial Advice segment. We were talking about how T-Mobile's using AI to improve their network and customer experiences, but what if they took it even further?
Okay. I'm intrigued. What are you thinking?
What if they created a personalized AI assistant, like your ultimate telecom guru?
Okay.
It knows how you use your phone, anticipates what you need, optimizes your plan, troubleshoots problems, even negotiates better deals for you with other providers.
Oh, hold on. That's a lot.
It is.
Like a personal telecom concierge?
Yeah. Always working in the background to make sure you're getting the best value. But wouldn't that take, a ton of data and processing power?
It would be a massive undertaking for sure. But with all the advances in AI, machine learning, it's becoming more and more possible.
Right.
T-Mobile already has a lot of data on how people use their phones, and they're clearly investing in AI.
Exactly. Imagine this AI. It analyzes your usage, compares it to tons of other plans, and automatically switches you to a better deal if one pops up.
That would be game-changing, especially for people who are tired of feeling like they're getting ripped off by their phone company.
Right, like having a financial advisor, but for your phone bill.
Yeah, I like that.
But there are definitely challenges like data privacy and making sure this AI is actually working for the customer.
You're right. Those are big concerns. T-Mobile would have to be totally open about how they're using people's data and give users control over how much power they give this AI.
Definitely.
But if they can get it right, it could really change the industry.
Imagine you never have to worry about your phone bill again. This AI just handles everything,
Mm.
making sure you're always getting the best deal.
It's a nice dream.
It is. But is it just a fantasy, or could it actually happen?
Well, in the world of this is not financial advice, anything's possible.
Fair.
But seriously, it's an idea worth thinking about. It shows the potential of AI to change not just industries, but our lives.
It's a reminder that we're living in a time of crazy technological change. And the companies that embrace it, use it to empower their customers, those are the ones that will succeed. But before we get too lost in our AI fantasies, let's come back down to earth for a bit. There's another important part of T-Mobile's business we need to talk about.
Their workforce.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they're a key part of their success. And they've built a reputation for being a good employer.
Right. They consistently get high marks in those employee satisfaction surveys.
Yeah.
Known for being supportive, inclusive, they offer competitive pay and benefits, invest in training and development.
It's about attracting and keeping good people, which is so important in any industry, but especially in a field like telecom.
Absolutely. And they're committed to diversity and inclusion, which is not just the right thing to do, it makes good business sense.
You're right. A diverse workforce brings new ideas, different experiences, leads to better decisions, more innovation.
It's not just about numbers, it's about creating a culture where everyone feels valued, respected, able to contribute their best work.
It's about building that foundation of trust, mutual respect,
Yeah.
where employees feel like they're part of something bigger.
It's about creating a company people are proud to be a part of.
Exactly.
And that pride shows up in their work, how they interact with customers, their commitment to doing a great job. But speaking of doing a great job, there's one area where T-Mobile's faced some criticism: their network security.
Right. They've had a few data breaches, which obviously raises concerns about how safe customer data is.
Yeah, it's a serious issue and one that T-Mobile's taking seriously. They've been putting a lot of resources into cybersecurity, trying to make their systems stronger, prevent future problems.
And they've been more open about what they're doing, how they're responding to these incidents.
That's good.
It's a step in the right direction. Shows they're learning from their mistakes, trying to regain that trust.
Transparency and accountability, those are so important, especially when it comes to sensitive data. But cybersecurity, it's a constant battle.
It is.
There's always a risk of new threats popping up.
You're right. It's not a one-time fix. It's a constant process of improvement.
So T-Mobile needs to stay vigilant.
They do.
But, it's not just about protecting information. It's about protecting privacy, security, our trust in the digital world. But, this has got me thinking about the role of technology in society overall.
Ooh, that's a big one.
It is, right. I've been thinking about how technology is changing everything, how we live, work, interact.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting, but also kind of scary.
It is. It's a double-edged sword, like you said. It has the power to connect people, spread knowledge, create opportunities. But it can also be used to spread misinformation, manipulate people, make existing inequalities worse.
It's true. It's up to us as individuals, as a society, to decide how we want to use it.
Yeah.
We need to be aware of the good and the bad, and we need to work together to make sure technology is used in a way that benefits everyone.
Absolutely. It's about using it for good while minimizing the potential harm, using it to create a more just, equitable, and sustainable world.
Exactly. And it's a challenge that T-Mobile and all these tech companies, they're going to have to grapple with as they continue to grow.
Definitely.
It's not just about profits, it's about responsibility, using their power to create a better future. But let's not get too philosophical here. We've covered a lot today, from T-Mobile's financials to their social impact, their tech innovations, their vision for the future. But before we wrap up this segment, I want to bring it back to This Is Not Financial Advice segment. We had some fun brainstorming earlier, but now I want to get your take on a more realistic but still interesting trade idea based on where T-Mobile's headed.
Okay, let's put on those investor hats. What are you thinking?
Well, they're really pushing into fiber, and they're committed to bridging that digital divide. So I'm thinking about a play on the infrastructure side of their business. What about companies that provide the equipment, the services for this massive build-out?
I like that angle. It's not just about T-Mobile, it's about the whole ecosystem that's supporting their growth.
Right.
So we're talking companies that make fiber optic cables, networking equipment, even the software to manage these networks.
Exactly. Those companies are going to benefit directly from T-Mobile's plans, and their stock prices could go up as this trend continues.
It's like investing in the picks and shovels during a gold rush. You're not betting on which miner will strike it rich. You're betting on the tools everyone needs.
That's a great analogy. So how would we actually play this? Individual stocks, or is there a broader approach?
There are a few options. You could research specific companies, ones you think are in a good position to benefit. But if you want broader exposure, you could look into a sector-specific ETF that focuses on telecom infrastructure.
Ooh, ETFs. Love those. Instant diversification. A great way to get exposure to a whole sector without picking individual winners. But remember, listeners, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, talk to a financial professional, invest responsibly.
Always good advice. And speaking of good advice, let's talk about something that's been on my mind: digital citizenship.
Okay.
It's not just about having access to tech, it's about using it responsibly, ethically.
It's about being aware of how what we do online affects other people.
Exactly. Promoting kindness, respect, empathy, even in our digital interactions.
It's like being a good neighbor, but online.
Right.
Especially now when technology is blurring the lines between our online and offline lives.
It is. It's about recognizing that what we do online has real-world consequences, both good and bad. And it's about using our voices online to make a positive difference.
Well said. But speaking of making a positive difference, let's get back to T-Mobile's efforts to close that digital divide.
Absolutely. It's so important.
Access to affordable, reliable internet, it's not a luxury anymore, it's essential.
You're right.
It's key for education, healthcare, jobs, even participating in our democracy.
And T-Mobile's taking a lead role in making sure everyone has that opportunity, regardless of their income, where they live, their background.
It's not just good for business, it's good for society.
It is.
It's about creating a fairer, more inclusive world where everyone has a chance to succeed. And it reminds us that technology can be a force for good.
Definitely.
When we use it wisely, responsibly, it can empower people, connect communities, create a brighter future. But before we get too carried away with our utopian visions, let's bring it back down to earth. We've covered a lot in this deep dive, and it's clear T-Mobile is a company that's worth paying attention to.
Definitely.
They're innovating, expanding, challenging the way things are done, all while staying focused on their customers, their employees, their social impact.
It's an exciting time to be following them, that's for sure.
It is. But remember, listeners, this is just our analysis, our opinions. This is not financial advice. Do your own research, talk to a financial expert, and as always, invest responsibly.
Always good advice. And with that, let's wrap up this part of our deep dive into T-Mobile.
We hope you found it interesting and helpful.
We'll see you next time. It's really a company pushing boundaries, in the telecom world.
Yeah.
But with all this talk about technology and, all these innovations, we shouldn't forget about the basics.
Like what?
Customer service.
Oh, all right.
At the end of the day, all the fancy features, the impressive numbers, they don't mean much if the customer experience is bad.
You're right. It's like having a flashy sports car with a terrible engine.
Exactly.
That's the point.
So how's T-Mobile doing on that front? Are they actually living up to this uncarrier thing?
Yeah, are they?
From what we're seeing, yeah, they seem to be walking the walk.
Okay.
They consistently rank high in those customer satisfaction surveys, and they're known for having a good support team, responsive, helpful. They've also made their plans and pricing simpler, which is a big plus for people who are tired of feeling confused or like they're being nickel and dimed.
Yeah, nobody likes that. So they're doing the right things, but what are some, concrete examples of how they're going above and beyond for customers?
Well, one example is their Team of Experts program.
Hey.
Instead of getting bounced around between departments or stuck in those automated phone menus, customers can connect directly with a dedicated team, specialists trained to handle their specific issue.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It is.
It's like having your own personal, telecom guide.
Exactly.
Always there to help you navigate the mess of the mobile world.
Yeah, all the complexities.
But what about the online experience? Most people interact with their phone company online these days.
You're right. And T-Mobile's been putting a lot of effort into making that online experience smooth and easy to use. They've redesigned their website, their mobile app, made it easier to manage your account, pay bills, see your usage, get support.
So they're really covering all the bases.
Trying to.
Personalized support, digital convenience. Sounds like they're making it less of a headache to be a telecom customer. But with all the advances in, AI and automation, how do you see their customer service changing in the future?
I think they'll keep using AI to improve things, but without losing that human element. AI can help personalize recommendations, address problems before they even happen.
Yeah.
Even provide support 24/7 through those chatbots, virtual assistants.
It's about finding that balance, right,
Exactly.
between the cool technology and the, good old-fashioned human interaction. Because sometimes you just need to talk to a real person who gets it.
You do.
But speaking of AI, let's go back to our This Is Not Financial Advice segment for one last thought experiment.
Right, lay it on me.
Okay, what if T-Mobile created, like, a personalized AI assistant, but, like, on steroids?
Okay, I'm listening.
It's your ultimate telecom guru. Knows your usage patterns, anticipates your needs, optimizes your plan, troubleshoots issues, even negotiates better deals for you with other providers.
Hold on, is that even possible?
With how fast AI is developing, I think it might be closer than we think. T-Mobile already has a ton of data on how people use their phones.
Right.
And they're putting money into AI. Imagine this AI, it analyzes your usage, compares it to, like, thousands of other plans, and automatically switches you to a better deal if one pops up.
That would be amazing.
Right.
It would change the whole game for consumers. People wouldn't feel so helpless against these big telecom companies anymore.
Exactly. It would be like having a financial advisor, but for your phone bill.
I like it.
But there's the data privacy issue, right? Would people be okay with an AI having access to all that personal information?
Yeah, that's a big question. T-Mobile would have to be really clear about how they're using that data and give users control over their privacy.
Absolutely.
But if they can figure that out, this could be huge.
It would be. It's a good example of how AI could really change things, not just for businesses, but for our lives.
Yeah, it makes you think about what the future holds.
It does. And T-Mobile, they're definitely a company pushing those boundaries.
They are.
But remember, this is all just us speculating, having some fun. This is not financial advice.
Right. Do your own research. Talk to a professional.
Absolutely. But it's exciting to imagine what's possible.
It is.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into T-Mobile's latest earnings and our maybe slightly crazy predictions about the future of telecom.
Yeah, we had some fun, right?
We did. Hopefully you learned something, maybe had a few laughs along the way.
As always, do your own research, talk to a financial advisor, invest responsibly.
Until next time, stay connected, stay curious, and stay ahead of the curve.
See you next time.